All right. So thank you, Steve. He said to give me 5 minutes to talk about ESIP, so I will talk about ESIP for 5 minutes, and then you get your coffee. Really great to be here. We're helping out a bit with the logistics this year, and please, if you have any feedback on the venue or the services or anything, talk to me or talk to Dan and Annie out at the desk. We're happy to help out. And this is not the first time that ESDSWG has been here, so I think it's a pretty nice place. It's a little bit easier to get in and out of than Goddard. So anyway, ESIP, a lot of you know about ESIP. So I'm going to talk to the people who don't know anything about ESIP, and it started in 1998, way back in the last century. And the National Research Council advised NASA and actually all the agencies that they would be good if they got the people that they contracted with to work together. And NASA was the agency that took it to heart and got us all the ESIPs were original NASA cooperative agreements, got us all together, all 24 of us, and said, you guys work together. And so we gathered, and it took 2 years, and we created a constitution for a member-run, member-led organization. And then at the end of the original funding period, NASA said, thank you, you've done that. Okay, and we'll go away now. And then the community did what communities rarely do and said, well, let's keep this going. So we looked around and we got some funding, and NOAA stepped up. And so we were funded from NOAA for a while, and then NASA looked around and said, well, wait a minute, you're a NASA organization. So NASA came back, and we're very happy to be funded by both NASA and NOAA, and now the USGS is kicking in. And as of this year, we're no longer the ESIP Federation, we're just ESIP. And I think probably half the people in this room are ESIP members. And in fact, our president, Emily, is in the room. Can you stand up? So who owns ESIP? Well, we have 109 member organizations that own ESIP. Okay, the member assembly elects the board. Member volunteers run the committees. I was a volunteer for many a year. And now I'm working at ESIP as the community architect. And it's the first time I don't get to make any decisions. So it's like, oh, okay. All the individuals in the ESIP community are encouraged to step up and lead. Very small staff keeps the day-to-day work done. We have a very small budget. Meetings are led by members too. The summer meeting call for sessions is open, you guys. So if you're going to get your session in, get it in before April 10. 2,300 people have been to ESIP meetings in the past dozen years. And every year we welcome first-timers. These are the first-timers for a couple of years ago, stepping up so we can see who they are and welcome them to ESIP. We have a group called the Visioneers, and the goal of Visioneers is to help ESIP meetings be the best earth science meetings on the planet. And so every year we tell people, if you've come to this meeting and there's anything you don't like, if you've been to another meeting that did something you like better than this meeting, tell us and we will improve it. So the summer meeting this year is going to be in Bloomington, Indiana. And so it'll be warm, but it's not that far. It's like a several-hour drive from everywhere, I've been told. Clusters. We have these groups called clusters, and they're a bit like your working groups. And except to make a cluster, you just tell our vice president, we want to have a cluster. And she says, okay, what do you want to do? And you tell her what you want to do, and she says, fine, you're a cluster. So it's a bit like an instant workshop, only you don't have to propose, you don't have to wait, you don't have to put people on a plane and take them to the same place. We provide the listserv, we provide the Slack channel, we provide the WebEx and the space on the cloud and anything you need, and you can just get together and get to work and get something done and go home. So we'd like to tell our funders, well, this is really like funding 2 workshops a year because clusters meet all year. and they generally gather at the summer and winter meetings. Only we're not going to charge you $60,000 a cluster because you help fund ESIP, so it's a bargain. So what is ESIP about? I mean, we serve scientists and data scientists, and they have a real problem because they're trying with their lives and their passion and their energy to solve the Earth system. And it's like having a deadly, incurable intellectual disease because you guys are not going to stop until you know enough about the planet to help the planet help itself. And we figured you don't need another professional organization. You don't need another, bunch of junk mail about your life insurance that you can get. You don't need another, $100 fee to be a member somewhere. You need a space to work together. And that's what ESIP is. And so in some ways, you need ESIP. And that's why we're here. Now, some people may not be right for ESIP. If you don't have any problems, if none of that sort of interoperability or any of the other things, bothers you, if you have nothing to teach or learn, if you met everyone you ever want to meet in earth science, well then don't show up because we can't help you out. But if you want to experience how the future of virtual science organizations runs, and if you want to help build that future, well, give us a try. And we hope to see you at the summer meeting, and we hope you can be there. And here's how it works, right? 3 simple rules. You teach more than you learn. You learn more than you network, and you network just as much as you possibly can. Okay? And we supply the chemicals. I'll end with this quote from our vice president. If someone asks you, what does ESIP bring to the table? Tell them, ESIP brings the table. All right, thank you. I'd be glad to talk to anyone about ESIP. If you don't know about ESIP, just step up and talk to Emily or Helen or a bunch of, how many people here have served on a committee in ESIP? Okay, talk to anyone with their hands up. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Bruce.